Was he doing what I think he was doing? When I heard the story, my intuitive red flags started to go off. So watch this whole video because we are going to figure it out together. If you don't know the story, let me just give you a brief overview. This is Cantinflas, a very, very famous actor and comedian. This story takes place here at his incredible residence mansion, huge home that is right on the water. The reason this is so interesting is because there is so much legend and myth surrounding this home and why he got this home. Apparently, he met a magician who gave him a crystal that could attract mermaids. The magician, or the psychic, whatever you want to call this person, taught Cantinflas exactly how to use the crystal, where he should live, how he can use the crystal in order to connect with mermaids, and this is what started the obsession with mermaids. So there is tons and tons of story, legend, lore, mythology about how he would call the mermaids into his property. There were different things that he would do, and he would prove this to people. He would show people how he could call the mermaids in whenever he desired by simply using this crystal. Fun fact is that this property is actually for sale, but I am not very interested in it, and I'll tell you why. This is not just the absolute perfect story for our spooky, scary story month, where we get to talk about mythology, lore, ancient stories, and spiritual practices and how these things all fit together. Just meeting now, my name is Marissa, and I got super interested in these topics when I became a hypnotherapist. Facilitated over 10,000 past life regressions where so many people actually shared experiencing scenes that look so much like the scene on our screen right now. This is what inspired me to teach myself how to astral travel and start exploring and researching this information for myself. So let's get into it. It's very fascinating that the so-called magician in this legend gave a quartz crystal specifically, because there's actually a type of quartz crystal called the Lemurian quartz crystal that has a ton of different ridges and grooves in it. And many channelers and people that are very spiritually connected hypothesize that these types of quartz crystals are actually quote unquote magical, or hold a lot of information, kind of similarly to how a CD holds a lot of information, and we just don't have the right way to like plug that information in to play the movie and get that information now. But those of us that are curious or passionate about Lemuria and lost history or forbidden history often do collect Lemurian quartz. I've gone out of my way multiple times to specifically look for Lemurian quartz. It looks like a normal clear quartz crystal unless you hold it in specific lighting, and then you can see that it is Lemurian quartz, and it is far more ancient and perhaps more powerful. So it sounds like he was given a chunk of Lemurian quartz that was coded specifically to connect with mermaids, and then he was shown his astrocartography where he would be the most powerful in this world to be able to use these rituals to actually get what he wants out of it. It sounds like that is what happens right here, where the magician instructed Cantinflas to build a mansion on the coast with a sea-fed pool and underwater caves to welcome the mermaids. So he was instructed exactly how to use his astrocartography and his human design in order to step into his own personal power, so that when he uses these crystals and uses these rituals, he can actually get the best possible result. Now, the next part is where my intuitive red flags started to show up. He had an obsession with mermaids. He had a very deep desire to marry a mermaid. And this is where my question comes from at the beginning, because I really believe that marry is a euphemism for something else that we cannot say that word here. But it seems like the obsession was very much like lustful and possessive. Now, mermaids have a very vast forgotten history. Mermaids to their core are very peaceful and benevolent beings, but due to the history that has transpired on this earth, oftentimes when people encounter mermaids now, they look a lot more like these beings, like scary beings like this or like this. I know that these are from movies and these are just like artistic depictions, but they do really resemble a lot of the found footage that we can see as well. very far from the very beautiful, ethereal, whimsical depiction of mermaids that we often see. I believe that even though this is a very fascinating story, this is also a story of this man doing what so many people have done to these beings for thousands and thousands of years, tricking them and luring them into captivity. And when I asked my higher guidance team about any clarity surrounding this story, I was shown that he did consume the beings, like he made them into food, I guess I could say, as well as kept them in I can't really use a lot of words here because this video will get banned, but it was a very trickster relationship. So while it is very, very fascinating that this man was able to call in and connect with these beings, and so many people are still having mermaid experiences on his property today, the way the mermaids feel about the situation is very, very mixed and complicated and confused. And because of that, this area is what you would call haunted, paranormal, etc., etc. The beings of this area hold the memories of what happened here. I'm also receiving the information that some of the mermaids actually do miss him, actually do love him, and enjoyed connecting with him, even though it was kind of manipulative in a way. So let's just ask the pendulum just so that we can get a little bit of further confirmation. Are you willing to share information? Are you willing to share information for us for the highest good of all, for the highest good of the collective? Information of pure truth and light at this time. And a big circle is yes. Can you show me no? And there we have a no. Okay. Tapping in and tuning in with Cantiflas and his mermaid obsession. Was he obsessed with the mermaids? Did he have a relationship with them? This is a big yes. Did he have sexual relations with them? Big yes. Yes, 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 yes. How are the mermaids feeling currently in that area? Are they feeling good? No, they are not feeling good. Do they miss him in any way? No. Did they enjoy the experiences with him? Did he call them in, treat them well? I'm getting a small yes. A small yes. I think he was a little bit more perhaps respectful than what I had channeled up until this point in the video. It seems like he really did mean well when it came to connecting with the mermaids, but there just are human limitations that we run into when we are connecting with interdimensional beings that have more wisdom and more energetic capacity than we do. And even though he didn't intend to manipulate and harm them, that is just part of what happened, as he just had the more egotistical human mind instead of what the mermaids have. So I would love to hear your thoughts on this video and the channelings that we got to navigate here together. Your thoughts on if you would visit this spot, if you would do a ritual to call in a mermaid, if someone gave you a crystal that allowed you to call in mermaids whenever you wanted, would you use it? And do you think mermaids are good or bad or evil, or what are your thoughts on mermaids as a whole? I would love to know from you. The way that I have learned is that there is information in all of our consciousness. All of our consciousness holds these little puzzle pieces. And hearing what is just naturally coming up for you could give us all more information about what is happening in this lost history that it has been forgotten, washed away.